Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and today I've got a treat for you, boys and girls. We're bringing back an old friend. Tom Viola joins us. You remember him from Betting Pros. Now he's over there in Vegas being famous at Unabated Sports, doing amazing work over there. He's recognized all over town by local administrators, and but luckily he is still here coming on, talking to us. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Week 2 preseason in the NFL. Last week, not too shabby. We certainly came out pretty well. We're going to try to go back to the well also one more time and see if we can make some cash. Tom's going to share with us some of his favorite bets. We're also going to talk with Tom's favorite futures bets too, because that's always a fun thing we like to do with everybody on the show, because the futures market never stops here. But Tom, look, your old hat here, but it's really fun to have you back. I'm sure the audience is excited to see you as well. How are things going at Unabated for you these days?
Oh, thank you so much, Joe. Fortunately, the people recognizing me aren't throwing me out of casinos, so we got that going for us now.
Yeah.
But it's been great. Absolutely loving what we're doing over there, but absolutely miss being on with you guys here. Still listen to the shows every week. I miss you, bro, Pat, Andrew, everyone. You guys do fantastic work, and thank you so much for having me on.
Well, I'm excited to have you on because I always like doing shows with you. And when you said, hey, I'm free, I said, great, because preseason NFL is still a really sticky situation for a lot of people. Even people who love to bet, people who are good in the market, they kind of run away from it, but not you. Not my Tommy boy. He's always right here, ready to rock and roll. Before we get into it, I want to remind everybody, make sure you drop a comment below here in the chat. Subscribe to Betting Pros YouTube channel. I'm going to be hosting the NFL all season long here. We're going to make a ton of money, so stick with me, but you got to stick with me by subscribing to the channel. Click that bell till it goes ding, and when you comment below, you have an opportunity to win a signed Aaron Jones Green Bay Packers jersey. Again, very simple. Click the bell, subscribe, drop a comment. That's it. That's all you got to do, and you could win, but you got to click that little bell till it goes ding. Otherwise, you don't know if you won, and we want you to claim your prize. That Aaron Jones jersey looks pretty good. You could wear it around the house if you want to. You can frame it. Whatever makes you happy, that's what we want you to do, so go check that out. All right, let's start here. It's week 2. Now, Tom, this is the time where you start to get more starters playing. You're going to get them playing deeper into games, too, so you're going to see a little bit more football that looks like perhaps what these football teams are going to be. Not always. I say perhaps because I always think I want to be guarded there about some of those things. So, Tom, let's start with the first one that you've got on the docket here for this weekend in week 2 of preseason NFL.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you talked about not shying away from betting NFL preseason, because the reality is betting NFL sides totals every week is hard, especially because it's such an efficient market. Like, everybody is betting into this. Preseason, it's a little bit friendlier for you to bet into, and more people should be doing it because the market is less efficient. And so you're actually more likely to have a little bit of an edge. And this first play is something that's maybe has a bit of an edge still. I don't want to go out and say this is a definitive edge play because we're not in week 1 anymore. And these are fantastic week 1. Last year, I believe they went 560-0 across all possible combinations. But I'm doing a 3-team 10-point teaser here.
Okay.
And all I'm looking to tease totals. I'm looking to tease low totals, and I'm trying to tease them down so that I can take some over. So I'm taking the Bucks Jets at over 27 points, the Patriots Packers also at 27 points, and the Titans Vikings 27.5 points. Once you get past 4 touchdowns, you're kind of getting dicey with these preseason games. But this is a week 1 strategy that has really been pretty effective. Like I said, that was last year. This year, I want to say that it ended up only 14 possible combinations of how you could have broken them out lost. And it's because the totals in preseason games are so much lower than regular season totals. And so when you take something like a 3-team teaser, the payout on this is minus 120. So you're taking a 3-team parlay, and I want to say roughly minus 280 juice. Someone else is going to yell at me because my math is bad, but that's why we're on the mics and we're not actually, we're not.
I was told there would be no math here on the show today, but you did add some. Well, this is interesting too, because when we had Chris Raybon on from Action Network a couple weeks ago, we were talking about like the how-tos of preseason betting, and then we talked some futures with him too. But he was talking about that magic number of 37.5. And whenever you see that number, that's where you're going for the unders, because typically these games do underperform in that sense. You're going on the other side of the spectrum. You're dragging them down to the 27 number, which is really interesting because a good chance it's going to live somewhere in that range, especially in week 2, when you figure, again, you're going to see more of what the Jets are going to do. You're going to see more of hopefully whatever the Patriots offense is going to be. Same thing here with the Minnesota Vikings and the Titans too. Like you're going to see some more of these teams really start to push things ahead here. So it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. Again, this is a 3-team 10-point teaser where Tom is going with Bucks, Jets, Patriots, Packers, both the over at 27, and then the Titans, Vikings at over 27.5. Let's get to number 2 on your list here, Tom. What do you have for the people?
I'm going with the Jets. I'm getting the -2 right now. It's -110 over at Westgate. When I picked up the number, it should still be around there. I can double check that on unabated in a second.
We'll trust you.
Yeah, I'm taking this. Oh, it still is Jets -2, 110.
Run, everyone. Get it now. Okay.
Yes, but I mean, I saw the reports. Zach Wilson's supposed to play the entire first half almost. Is Hard Knocks really going to galaxy brain me into thinking, hang on a second, maybe Aaron Rodgers can actually make Zach Wilson into a decent quarterback one day? But we watched this Jets team against the Panthers last week. They've already had 2 preseason games now. So even the backups and the guys fighting for some roster spots here, they're a little more fresh than everybody else. They're a little more into game speed. Mm-hmm. And I'll take that, especially because you're going up against a Buccaneers team, Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield. Whoever you decide to start, these two are having a mid-off right now to see who can be the quarterback for this team. I will absolutely happily fade that quarterback competition in the preseason here.
Can I steal that? Can I steal the mid-off? I love that. It's so good, man. You nailed it. I'm actually in on the Jets this year. This is not Hard Knocks related, but I am in on the Jets. But my whole plan is to wait. Now, I did bet them already at the +280 to win the division, but I think that number is going to get even better. So I'm going to be patient because these first 6 weeks, they're ugly for this team. The schedule is really ugly. I think it's going to take a little while for things to gel, but you look at the back end of the schedule, I think they could win 11, maybe even push 12 wins. I don't think it's out of the question. 12-5, sitting right there for the New York Jets. I don't think it's impossible at all. And look, fresh start for the Jets. Fresh starts are important. In case you didn't notice it, everybody out there too, we have a fresh start at Betting Pros. So if you haven't, please go check out the new Betting Pros app for iOS because it'll get sexy. I'm not going to tell you anything. It's just sexy.
It is.
Tom will tell you, the redo that our design team has done has been so great. They've got a community section now where you can connect with some of the top rated bettors. They've got the hot streaks. They've got all the betting expert feeds you can follow too. So you can get a feed of bets from everyone that you follow and get instant notifications whenever the bets are placed, which is really important too. You can track the bets too, and you can enjoy the better live tracking of all your bets across all your sports books. Again, when you download the app, sync your sports books. That's how Betting Pros works. Tom knows because he was here with us, and the new updated version, really good. Plus, you also get the prop bet hits rate too. So you can sort from the prop bet cheat sheet, which is something I use every day with MLB betting. We use it on the show this year too, on the MLB channel here at Fantasy Pros. And basically, it's going to be your way to keep up on every single thing NFL related through the betting season. So take advantage of all the features that we have, some of the new features they put in here too with the Betting Pros app. Again, you go to bettingpros.com/apps, or you can just search the Betting Pros app in the App Store. Seems pretty easy to me. Tommy boy, Mr. Tom Viola, let's get to your third bet that you have here. So after all the Jets stuff, we got to go a little non-Jets. So give me something non-Jets for the people out there who aren't in love with gangrene and Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I mean, come on, you know where we have to go. It is the slam dunk of the preseason. We're going to keep going back to this well until it runs dry. I'm sure it's on your list too. Ravens -3. It's -105 at DraftKings right now. That number's going to get steamed up as we get closer to Sunday and people start going in and start betting it because all the casual people who want to sit down on Sunday morning and go, oh, hang on a second, this game is the Ravens play today. I'm going to bet that. That's when that number will start to trickle up a little bit more. I'll gladly take it when it's still at the key number of 3 here.
That's where we're going to start for my top 3 bets in week 2. I'm starting with the Ravens. So just let's segue right into it. 24 consecutive wins. The Commanders obviously have quarterback issues here, or an identity crisis at quarterback at the very least. We're trying to figure out still. And look, I know it's very easy to look at some of these teams and say, well, of course, they're better than the Commanders. But they are. They're better than the Commanders. Let's not overthink this. And if it goes bust, it goes bust. But 24 in a row, there's a special sauce here. They take a great pride in it, too. Harbaugh takes pride in it. It's something where it's about execution. And I think the great coaches get their teams to do that. And personnel early in the year who's ready to execute, especially in a new offense too, with Todd Monken running things now. I think that's the thing that was so impressive to me, that was like, look, we're just getting right back into being the Ravens. It doesn't matter who the OC is or who's calling plays. We're just going to be the Ravens. They're 5-0 straight up against them, by the way, the Commanders on this streak. And look, you can even bet Baltimore right now. There's a piece for plus 100 to go undefeated in the preseason, Tom. I don't know if you saw that bet. I would throw that one on there too. Like, have some fun. Let's go Ravens undefeated for the preseason. If you don't love, the number you're getting on the minus 110, then just go look for the plus 100 number you're getting on them right now and just go take that. Just do it. It makes sense to me. Go get yourself some. All right, number 2 on my list here. This is the Bears and the Colts game. I'm going to go with the Bears and the money line at plus 150 here. And I'm also going to take the under at 40. That's a big number here. And the Colts, Jonathan Taylor is this enigma right now. We're not even sure what the hell's going on there. Anthony Richardson looked like somebody who still needs a lot of work, and I expected that. So I don't know why everyone's hyperventilating over that, Tom. But the Bears looked kind of sharp. You saw the bubble screens. You saw what probably they should be doing with the pieces that they have. So I thought the Bears looked sharp. Roshan Johnson looks good. We're going to see him running with the ones again too, apparently, because he's been doing that in practice quite a bit. So from a fantasy perspective, this is when it crosses over to your wagering. You can look for some individual props on him and see if you can get something on Roshan. But I'm going to go with the Bears. You're getting plus money here. I don't care if it's on the road and all that stuff. I think this is one of those rare instances where the line is just completely wrong for me, Tom. What do you think about this? Am I way off here and thinking that the lowly Bears are going to go in there and beat up on the Colts? I think the Colts are really kind of struggling right now to put things together.
I mean, I completely agree with you. Anthony Richardson is playing like a guy who's only had 15 career starts, and one of them's in a preseason game in the NFL. I'd be nervous as heck too. I don't blame him for not being sharp in that game, but it's going to take some time for him to calm down, and this time will be good for him. But we can take advantage of the growing pains on the other side, because they're doing what they need to do for Justin Fields, the Bears. Right. I completely agree with you. You saw that 3 for 3 with -7 air yards for 129 yard stat, but it works. And if that's when that's the kind of plays you're designing, I like what I'm seeing here, and I like where your head's at on this bet.
Well, Tom, to me, it works when you make that the bread and butter. And then once everybody starts to adjust to it, then you can start throwing the ball deep. Then you can start taking shots. It's when you start utilizing, what do we have here? We have playmaking speed. We've got a bunch of running backs that we can utilize. Like, let's get in there and let's keep it conservative, but let's keep the ball moving. And then when you grind teams down a little bit or use some of the athleticism you have, then you start taking some shots downfield. It's not like Justin Fields can't throw the ball deep. I watched him in Ohio State plenty of times throwing the ball deep to guys like Garrett Wilson and a whole bunch of other dudes. So, like, I'm not too worried about him. I think this is a year where he does take a step forward. I'm hopeful at the very least. Also, before I get to my last one here, I want to remind everybody too, we've got the NFL contest going on for betting, and I want everybody to come join this in our community. So if you go to Betting Pros app, you can go to the community tab, or you can just go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And this contest, we're going to have weekly and season to date leaderboards. Okay. We did the same thing in baseball this year. It was super fun. We gave away free stuff. Everybody loves free stuff. Tom loves free stuff. Yeah. I love free stuff. It's great. So what you have to do is every week you have to make a minimum of 5 NFL picks. I'm going to be in there with you guys making these picks. We're going to be doing a minimum of 100 NFL picks during the season to qualify. And the prizes, if they'll let me get in this, and if I win a prize, I'll donate it to charity or I'll give it to Tom. But we have one grand prize winner who's going to receive a Jackson Smith and Jigba autographed jersey. And we're going to do numerous weekly and monthly winners. So we're going to get Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros swag from our shop. So you're also going to get a 1-year premium upgrade for both apps. So a lot of cool stuff here, signed jerseys, upgrades, swag, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Or again, go to the community tab, click on it, go to the contest there at NFL and get ready and join us. It's going to be a fun event. We want everybody to go in and join that bad boy. All right, I got one more for you, Tom. This one here is the Dolphins versus the Texans. I'm going to take the Texans on the -5 here. And here's what I'm thinking. And I know this is going to be at the -110, something that people are going to raise their eyebrows at. But I want you to hear me out, and then you can tell me I'm crazy. So Houston Texans defense didn't look so bad that first outing. Now, I know it's preseason, but still. They held the Patriots to 164 yards, who are still trying to figure out whatever their new offense is going to be with Bill O'Brien. Everything old is new again. They did have 3 sacks in that game. Mike McDaniel, by the way, sat out 31 guys in week 1. We know that he is not somebody so far from what we saw last year that likes to push his players too much in the preseason, and rightfully so, because it's kind of a thin margin of error. Because you got Tyreek, you got Waddle, and after that, not a whole lot. So basically looking at these opportunities here and how aggressive, or I should say not aggressive, the Dolphins have been with their players, I think the Texans here with the -5, I think they can keep this one close. And the -110, that's a pretty good number. What do you think about this one? Am I crazy with CJ Stroud to think that we can keep this one close? Or do you think that I'm onto something here and maybe there's a way to make some money?
I mean, I don't mean to blow up your spot here, Joe, but I'm seeing that number's dropped down a little bit. It's 2.5 now.
Whoa, it's a good thing that I locked it in when I did. Because that's things change real fast. That's why I use the Betting Pros app, everybody. That's why I use the Betting Pros app. You stay on top of these things here.
Yeah.
So you get the notifications when these odds move. So I locked in at 5. I'm going to look up BP if there's anybody, any other spot we can get it. Is it now 2.5 across the board this morning?
Yeah, I'm seeing I'm seeing a couple interesting things here. I'm seeing a lot of 2s, honestly. FanDuel's got 2.5, Circa's got 2, Bookmakers got 2, Westgate's got 2.
Amazing. So we've really moved quite a bit here in a short period of time because just put this all together. So that's telling you something. Now at the 2, don't quite like it as much. So what I would try to do then is really invest in that Bears Colts game. Bears money line +140, the under at the 40, because just don't know if the Colts can keep up necessarily. And 40 is a big number. We already learned about that 37.5. And the 40 is even bigger. So I'm going to go backwards on that bad boy too. But at the same time, maybe you look for an individual prop there with Justin Fields for a small rushing number. You start to look for Roschon Johnson numbers if he's running with the ones. We don't have clarity on that yet, but it's something that we got news out of practice. He was running again with them today. So as long as he continues to do that, check that out. Maybe it's just them trying to get some more work with them. I don't know. But Tommy, the one thing I do know is that we've got futures bets to make. And every guest that we have come on the show, we like to have them go ahead and give us some of the things that they're in on so we can get in on them too. So let's talk futures. What do you have for the people today on BP?
Well, my first one up here, I'm staying with the hometown team here in the Las Vegas Raiders, but I am not a homer by any stretch of the term here. I'm taking them 14-1 at BetMGM right now. It's the best number that I could find on it. You see it at 10-1, 12-1, some other shops, but Raiders' worst record this season. Everybody's talking about the Cardinals. Now the Colts have been the team du jour to bet on being terrible, but look at this Raiders team and tell me that there's anything to get excited about this year. According to Warren Sharp's Vegas win total strength of schedule, 31st easiest schedule. So second most difficult schedule in the league this season. You, of course, have to play the AFC West, which should be what we expected it to be last year with the Broncos and the Chargers. Quite frankly, Jimmy G, to me, downgrade a quarterback from Derek Carr. I know that he's had more success, but he's had all that success in a Kyle Shanahan system that we watched make Brock Purdy, a 7th round draft pick, look good in. I don't trust Jimmy G going away from that. I don't really trust the skill players that we've got going on outside of Devontae Adams here for this offense. Yeah, you got Hunter Renfrow, but there's no Darren Waller. We don't know what the deal with Josh Jacobs is. I doubt he holds out. I'm sure he'll be there eventually, but he's going to regress from last season. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I don't care much about adding Marcus Peters in the cornerback scene because your linebackers are weak. Your secondary is still weak. Yeah, you have a great D line with Max Crosby there, but what's to be excited
Marcus
about?
Peters is on his 3rd team now in 3 years. So, I mean, I think that tells you where Marcus Peters is in his career. I actually think the 14-1 is a really good number here. The only thing that holds me up personally is the Arizona Cardinals. That's the only thing that holds me up because that team is so bad on paper. And the coach and the whole situation, the offensive line, not having Kyler Murray, like there's just so much bad there. And you want to talk about a tough division too. That's the only thing that holds this one up for me.
I think my only thing is that they're going to get Kyler Murray back at some point this season, right?
But if they do get Kyler Murray back at some point this season, you're imagining it's not going to be pushing him along, right? There's nothing to play. No. Like you need to get him healthy. So if 7, he's kind of healthy, maybe it's week 8 or 9. By the time we get to there, it's already a miserable situation there. Not to mention he could be running for his life on a bad knee or a knee that's healing from this awful offensive line. I don't know, man. Look, I think this is like the hedge play here. To me,
Mhm.
if you already invested in Arizona, you want to take one other team. I think the Raiders make a lot of sense too. I think things could go real sideways. Do you think we get a revolt here on Josh McDaniels
I think we
midseason?
can.
Yeah,
I think it's very possible. I don't think Devontae Adams is very wild about the situation to begin
doesn't
with.
seem like it.
Like he came there to be with Derek Carr, and now there's no Derek Carr. I don't know how I feel about this team this year. And yeah.
Who gets fired first, Ron Rivera or Josh McDaniels?
I'm gonna go Ron Rivera simply because of the fact that I think that the Raiders would hold out to the bitter end of the season because they don't want to pay another coach.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, let's get to you number 2. What else are you on in the futures market? And a spoiler alert, this isn't another New York Jet bet, everybody, but it's one that I support. So let's hear Tom out about the Jets here. What has he got?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit already. I like that Jets to win the AFC East. You got it at plus 280. You hawked a better number than I did. I'm only at plus 270. But I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, yeah, the offensive line is giving me a little bit of worry right now, what we've seen out of camp so far. That's got to get fixed. But the Bills, how much have we seen out of Josh Allen where we're really confident to say that MVP caliber season is Josh Allen and not all of the other seasons that we've seen of him making questionable decisions with the ball?
It's not even that. It's the Bills defense that I think really took a step back last year and really looked old last year at times. And I keep telling everybody the reason why I bet the 280, or in your case, the 270 where we're at now, is because it's not out of the realm of possibility that they go in with this tough schedule and actually play up to it because that defense is so good and they win a couple squeaker games where the ball just bounces their way. I'm planning for that not to happen. And then I'm going to wait when they're 2-5 and that number becomes plus 500. And I'm going to jump on that. And then I'm going to have those 2 bets. And then you know what I'm going to do in classic Joey P fashion? I'm going to wait for them to make the playoffs. And when they have that home playoff game, I'm going to bet against them and make even more money because that is what I've learned in my life from watching Aaron Rodgers and big spots and disappointment of the Jets. It is the perfect story. I can't wait to see it. But look, I mean, the Jets defense is good enough last year to be a playoff defense, Tom.
Yeah, I'm worried about them regressing a little bit, but they shouldn't because it's a young team. They should be on the ascent, not the descent. I'm happy. This is the first time I was in high school. The last time I went into a New York Jets season and was like, we could do it. This could be the year. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's the first time I've ever had excitement. You think I was rolling in going, it's a Super Bowl year, baby, when we had Josh McCown going out there at quarterback? No, this is the first time that I've actually had hope. And I know it's going to end in disaster because it's the Jets and it always ends in disaster. But I think you're completely right about waiting on this team. Let this number get a little bit higher if they have a couple tough games early on. I do think they beat Buffalo week 1, and that's really important for this bet to begin with. So that might hurt your number, but you're hoping for those weeks 2, 3, and 4, 5. Maybe a couple losses there, like a loss to Dallas and then something a little bit further down the line.
Oh, they got a couple monstrous games where I think they're butt handed to them. But again, it just plays right into my hand. So I know it's scary, everybody. I want you to hold my hand and I want you to bet it with me. And we're going to do it together. By the way, when I was in high school, Boomer Esiason was the quarterback of the Jets. So gross. What a terrible situation that was. Good in Cincinnati. I mean, it took him to a Super Bowl, but things did not work out for Boomer when he came home. All right, so you got the Jets to win the AFC East. I love. You got the Raiders to lose all the games, to have the worst record in the league. Give me one more thing you're in on in the futures market.
I was going to go boring. I was going to go Cowboys to win the NFC. It's 6-1 at some shops. The unabated line was saying it should be around 560, 570, which means you have a little bit of an edge there. And you can go do that, and it's probably a smart bet. But that's not fun. And we want to have a little bit of fun here, don't we?
Yeah.
I'll give you a long shot for this third one. What about the Rams at 45-1 at DraftKings to win the NFC? This team's 2 years removed for a Super Bowl. I know the offensive line needs to not be trash this year because last year was rough, but Stafford's healthy now. Kupp, well, maybe not healthy, but he should be okay for the season. You still got Aaron Donald and you still got Sean McVay. No more Jalen Ramsey, but I think crazier things have happened than a team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago getting back to some sort of form, especially in an NFC that is wide open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the big point too. We had Rich Rebar on the show earlier in the week, and we were talking about like it's hard to find a long shot you like in the NFC. Like I'm already heavily invested in the Eagles. Everybody knows that. All fly Eagles fly for me because I just think they are by far the class. I know the Hassan Reddick injury that came out today about the thumb surgery, that doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. That's not great, but, hopefully eventually he'll get back and healthy and sacking guys. But you're looking for teams that might have a shot. I mean, I'm not out on the 49ers, but I'm not in love with the numbers right now with them. The quarterback situation feels like a mess. And then, what else do you have in that division too? You've got Seattle and the rest of the conference. It's maybe the Dallas Cowboys actually get their crap together. I don't buy anybody in the North. I don't buy anybody in the South. I don't think the Rams are crazy, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the 49ers, I can't get 10-1 on a team where my question is, who's your quarterback? Yeah. That's a massive red flag. You're trying to tell me this team's going to a Super Bowl, but you can't tell me who the starting quarterback week 1 is going to be. When has that ever happened?
I don't know. I mean, off the top of my head, actually, no, usually they just know who it is. Sometimes they'll play poorly and then replace them. But yeah, that's a tough one. Like, you can go back to the great Ravens team with Trent Dilfer playing quarterback. He wasn't the guy they wanted. He's the guy they ended up with, but they knew who they wanted going in. So that doesn't really work either. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. Some really good stuff there.
If it wasn't for Damar Hamlin, my third bet here, and probably would have been bumped up to my first bet, would have been Sam Darnold comeback player of the year.
No, well, look, I said it months ago when they signed him. I said, listen, everyone's going to make jokes. Everyone's going to, poo-poo this. But remember, there's a good chance that he is the week 1 starter. Like, because he's the most experienced guy and maybe the healthiest, and maybe that combination is enough in that offense. And it's not going to shock me, Tom. It is not going to shock me.
I'll always be a Sam Darnold truther.
Oh, well, there's some things that you're going to have to live with then the rest of your life. Please go follow, if you haven't already, Tom Viola over on the Twitter machine at TV at Work. Check out his work at Unabated Sports, too. Does fantastic work there. Also, we want you to win that Aaron Jones jersey, so subscribe to Betting Pros. Click the bell till it goes ding. Leave a comment below. Give me your favorite futures bets. I want to hear them. What do you think about these week 2 bets that we have for you? Also, don't forget, check out the new app at Betting Pros. Go download it on iOS right now and join our group, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Or if you're on the app, just click that community tab. We're giving away fabulous prizes, grand prize, JSN autographed jersey, and more swag and other things we're giving away. Tom, it's so good to see you, man. It's great. We met last year working together, and I'm just really excited for your success. And again, you're so good in this market, and you're so young, just this young buck out there just crushing it in the betting world. And Tom's going to be one of these guys you look up 10 years from now. He's going to be at the top of this business, I'm telling you right now. So go follow him on the Twitter machine. Check him out. And hopefully, if he's got time for us, he can come back again in season and chat with us some more. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Tom, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.